Madam President.
The senator from Alaska.
Thank you very much, Madam President. I wasn't intending to speak on the floor because I was hopeful tonight we would have a simple vote that would move us to a debate on a bill that I think people have been waiting for a long, long time, and that's getting reform to our banking institutions and financial institutions. I will say that for those that are watching and listening, I'm new here. I've now been a little over a year and trying to understand all the process, but one thing I've learned is this great motion called the motion to proceed. A lot of people watch and see us vote and they think, oh, the bill has gone down. This motion was a very simple motion. It allowed us to move to the bill so we can debate. What I've heard over the last several weeks and literally the last 48 hours, this desire for people to add amendments and talk about it and do all the things we want to do, and that's have full debate on the floor. But because of this simple motion that the Senate requires, which I think is kind of a foolish motion, that's my own personal opinion, it's motion to proceed, we're not even allowed now to debate this bill and offer amendments to this very important financial reform legislation. So I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed for us as a body that we can't move forward. Second, I think my constituents in Alaska are disappointed that we don't have an opportunity to debate this issue and throw amendments on the floor to refine a good piece of legislation to move us forward to getting reform in our financial institutions, especially these mega banks. Over the last year and a half, since I've been here, almost a year and a half, all I've heard about is how bad this economy was a year ago or so, and what caused it was the financial institutions just kind of crashing in because the rules or the lack of rules they operated under. The goal of the Senate is to try to create some rules to make sure the public sees some transparency to these mega banks. And yet, for whatever reason, our friends on the other side are not willing to even move this forward. But I also learned today, just reading some of the material that we get every single minute around this place, and that they've been working on a bill for months. I don't know where they've been working on this bill because I sure the heck haven't seen it. The public hasn't seen it. I do know they've been having a lot of meetings up in Wall Street, and maybe that's where they're writing the bill, but I haven't seen this bill. For 2, 3, 4 months, whatever the timetable they've claimed that they've been working on some legislation, that's what I've read today. But the public hasn't seen it. The American people haven't seen it, and we actually had a chance tonight to vote to allow us to see it and have a debate, and they wouldn't allow that. So I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that we don't have that opportunity. I'm disappointed for the American people that we will not move forward on banking and financial reform, which is desperately needed. It's what crashed this economy because of lack of rules and the carelessness of so many with hard-earned dollars from working people across this country that they put into banks, anticipated that they would be put aside and protected and not put into some high-risk ventures that later on banks did and other mega banks did, and caused this economy to be in the position it is today. I will say this, in Alaska, we have some great institutions. Our credit unions, our community banks did a great job. They weren't investing in risky ventures. They weren't investing in risky financial instruments with hard-earned dollars that people put into those banks as investors or people deposit in those banks. The credit unions, these small community banks did a great job. This is our opportunity to not continue the status quo. It's clear to me the other side, their interest in status quo, where billionaires became billionaires again by betting against the recovery of the economy, which is amazing to me. They bet against the American people. They hoped they would be foreclosed on. That's the rules the other side wants to continue. Now, maybe I'm living in another world. I'm betting on the American people. I'm betting on Alaskans, that we want to move forward, not status quo where this economy almost crashed and burned. At the same time, we want to make sure that banks in the future can't be coming to the taxpayers and ask us for a bailout, because that ain't ever happened, at least while I'm here anymore. That's outrageous that the taxpayers got left behind in this process. So, again, Madam President, I'm disappointed. It's amazing, like I said, they're drafting some bill somewhere in some dark room, somewhere, I don't know if it's in the Capitol or up in Wall Street. It's somewhat amazing to me the people who are complaining some time ago on some legislation that they said we were drafting in the back room, which wasn't true. And now they are doing the exact same thing they complain about. Their hypocrisy is unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, again, I wasn't planning to come down here and speak. I was voting like the rest of us, thinking we were going to move forward, and here we are. No bill to offer amendments, no bill to strengthen our financial institutions, same old business as usual. Status quo, the rich get richer, the people who are working hard every single day suffer, lose their 401ks or their education retirement accounts they set aside for their kids, or thought they put them in a bank that was supposed to be secure, ended up who knows where, except in a few people's pockets that were working on Wall Street. So I'm disappointed. And I would hope that our colleagues on their side would just allow us the opportunity to offer amendments to a financial reform legislation that will, for once and for all, hold these financial institutions accountable for the actions they caused to this country that almost put us on the verge of bankruptcy. Madam President, thank you for the opportunity to, I guess, vent would be my view right now, and aggravation of what's going on. But again, it's our job to hold these financial institutions accountable for what they did to the taxpayers of this country, and I hope that our colleagues on their side will see the light of day and join us to offer a debate. Thank you, Madam President.